Hello, I'm Mimi Strobel and welcome to episode 9 of my Enigmatica 2 series here on the FTOG server. Last episode I started on the farm and today I want to start automating it. Now I was asking in Discord what should I be doing. I already started last episode with energy conduits and item conduits from Ender.io, which are really cool and powerful, and it's I mean and I know it well. You know, I know how the conduits work. I know many of the filters, like advanced item filters, limiting item filters, etc. It's really good. Redstone filters. I know it, and it's a really good mod. I really like, and it, like I showed you, it takes up a single block space for all of the cables. Now, but there are some other options. And so I asked in Discord, and let me know what you want to do or what you want to see. And the other two options that I offered were integrated tunnels and integrated dynamics. And I may still use some of this later, but more as an addition rather than the actual automation. I've done integrated dynamics, which is mostly reading and building logic based on what you've read. So you can read an inventory or a machine, and you can, you write out a signal or something, or do something with it, and then there's integrated tunnels that adds to that to transport items. And the other option was XNet. And most of the votes, I think it was 5 votes for XNet and 2 votes for Integrated Dynamics and Ender.io. I've never done XNet, but I've watched people do it. I've watched Torkel do it a lot, Grok as well, Non-Sanity. And I'm gonna try it. It shouldn't be that hard. And I have faith that I can do it. My only restriction is you get only 8 channels per controller. And if that's not enough, I need to look at how to extend that. But yes, the controller is the first part, and the machines are all really easy. The controller is where you tell it what to do with the connections. The connections are what interfaces with machines and other objects. And you connect the whole thing with cables. So I got a bunch of cables, connectors, a controller. Let's head over to the farm. And this is the building I have been working on for the past 2 days. I spent hours chiseling these windows, but I think they're pretty cool. What I've done, by the way, and I haven't shown you that, but the same goes for all the other buildings. I replaced the insides plane with mana glass, and mana glass is really nice. Actually, I should have some on me, or it's in the chest here. So mana glass is really cool. It gives off light. Yeah, unfortunately, it's almost invisible. I don't like this for a window, so I did a combination of mana glass on the inside and white glass on the outside. Now, here is what I've set up so far. And I just did a round of harvesting once for myself. I have, well, not on the cows, this is what I had in my storage. I have some raw beef, some wheat, soy, that's all of the produce from there. The raw meat will be processed to ground beef in that machine. The soy will be converted to silicon tofu and soy milk in those two. Snowballs are coming from the industrial foregoing froster, which is really simple, at least to make. It's just, we've done the machine frame, plastic gold gear, ISS snowballs. And then here, there's going to be toast. Yes, and there's going to be, here is going to be my actual delighted meals. And this is byproducts that I get from this work here. So, for example, when I make the silken tofu from soybeans, you get additional grain bait. And when you make soy milk from silken tofu, you get additional firm tofu, which none of this will use, and of course seeds from the wheat farm. None of this will need. So, yeah, I put them in drawers because I don't want to throw them away. And you can see that all of these have a void upgrade. So whenever something is full, nothing overflows, it will just void. The only one that doesn't have it is this one. This has a different upgrades, or downgrades, so you want. These drawers normally have a stack limit of 32. This one has a stack limit of 1. So, because what I put in here is a storage downgrade, which reduces base storage to a single stack like it shows. And I put in a redstone upgrade, so I get a redstone signal when it's full. I get a signal of 15, so I can use that to shut off my entire farm. That I want to do. So, also, oh, you are empty. I should switch off my miner. So you can fill up again. First, this one will fill with 1,000,000, and then these start filling. I might make 2 more of these. Anyway, I also put in some lights because it was quite dark, and that also doesn't help the crops growing. I placed my harvester right here with a range of 13 ticks the entire farm. And basically that's all the machines set up. The crafters will do the regular crafting bit. This is my controller for the XNet network, the power for it, water, which is going to be used into buckets, ice maker or snow maker in this case. I'm gonna do snowballs, grinders for the ground beef so I get double the amount of hamburgers for the same amount of cows, and a presser for the tofu. And I made an elevator here to go below ground. This is under the farms and this is under the 3 buildings. And now I just need to connect everything up. The storage drawer controller, the output for the lighted meals so I can measure them, and all of these machines. So one more thing I want to make right now, which is facades that can hide my cables and my connectors, which I want to do. I need white wool. Now, you may remember some episodes ago I had these silkworms. Now I've got so much silk here. It's not even funny anymore, so I removed them all. Now, if I'm done my math right, I want to make 4 stacks, sorry, 4 crafts, so that's a stack of these facades. Right or sneak right click on a block to mimic, and right or sneak right click on a cable or connector to hide. And I also made some more cables because I was running out. And also I replaced the well from Pam's Harvest Craft with the sink from Cooking for Blockheads. Apparently the well doesn't interact with anything. I noticed earlier that I wasn't able to pull from the well, which I can do from the sink, but also the connector wouldn't connect. So now I want, do I have a regular block? I do. Okay. So this is the block I'm gonna mimic. I'm gonna do right click, and it says now in the bottom corner, mimic him tile blank 0 name, because they never named these blanks properly. Okay, so now if I right click these cables, they're all nicely hidden. Now I could have run them underneath the floor instead of into the floor, but especially here, that would have meant a lot more cabling because I have to go down, over, up, down, over, up, etc. And I didn't want to do that. So. So I deleted most of the footage and I redid most of the work twice. Oh my god, this was such a pain. Okay, you may notice a few differences. The NRO fluid tank is gone. We have a second grinder. Snowball machine is here. I have a few more drawers. We have a new item, seaweed. And we have toasts, let's see, salt, bread, hamburgers, strawberry smoothie, and already 49 delighted meals. That means it's working, be it a little bit slow, but it's working. The biggest slowdown right now is the farm. That's where the seaweed is, by the way, so I took out a regular wheat for now. The reason is automating salt. That is a pain. I was crafting it, so I had the fluid tank, and I had empty buckets sent into the fluid tanks, filled buckets sent into my crafter, using the pan, making salt, empty buckets sent back to the fluid tank. At least that is the theory. The problem, of course, is the pot needs to stay inside the machine, and the bucket needs to go outside. So I did send everything out initially, and I had a chest here underneath just temporarily where everything would go from the crafter, and then the pot would be sent back to the crafter, the empty bucket would be sent to the fluid tank, and the pan would send back to the crafter. The salt would be sent back to the crafter, whatever, blah blah blah. It worked, but then I ran into another problem. RFTools crafters, they're annoying. One is you can't use a scroll wheel, which is, I hate that anyway, but okay. We use salt for butter, we use salt for cheese, we use salt for fries. These were all being sent out to the network into one of the drawers so they can be used by this crafter. Unfortunately, how does RFTools crafters work? It starts from the top. Can I make butter? Then I'll make butter. Can I make butter? Then I'll make butter. Can I make butter? Then I'll... It doesn't do 1, 2, 3 and then goes through them all and then starts again from the top. It would be nice if it did that, or at least there was an option. So I still don't know what this one is here. So it would make butter, and then the butter would stay here. That was fine. That was 64. But the cheese went into one of those drawers. The fries went into one of those drawers, I think. And so it started making fries before it made cheese, and it would just make fries and fries and fries. It would never make cheese, especially since these had void upgrade. It would never make cheese. It would just keep making fries, and it would all be dumped and voided. So I had to move the crafting such a way that all of the salt used is here. We don't use salt anywhere. All the recipes that use salt, as these 3, are in this machine. And all the recipes that use their products are also in here. So that the butter stays in here, and once that's filled, it can't make any more butter. It's gonna stop making butter, and it will make cheese, and then it will make fries. But they have to stay in the machine here, right? That means that whatever uses the butter or the cheese or the fries has to happen here as well. So I had to split that up a little bit, but it's working now. We are at 64 of all of these things stored. The main problem right now is bread. Once it gets bread, it can make a hamburger, cheeseburger, and the delighted meal. This one just makes bread from the wheat. It gets toast from here, sorry, and it uses toast to make the hamburger, and then it makes a strawberry smoothie, and all of those are going into the drawers, and then they're being used here. And yeah, so salt instead is now being ground from seaweed, and we get the byproduct veggie bait, which, you know, we'll see if we use it. But at least that's one machine doing salt. I don't have a pen and a bucket juggling back and forth everywhere. Man, that was annoying. Okay, now this is my XNet setup. Also, does it like the scroll wheel? Shame. The first one no, I didn't show anything because I cut it all out. Okay, the first one, usually you set up your energy first, and doesn't show it, but it's an energy channel, and it's going to extract energy from the power cell and insert into all of the machines that need power. Now this one is not really needed. Insert into the controller because the controller is already connected to the power cell. Reason for that is that this channel doesn't work if there's no power. That means the insert into yourself from the power cell wouldn't work if there's power. It's a catch-22. so it's connected directly. Second channel is extracting, or I should say is inserting into the storage system. Mostly. Yeah, so we're extracting from the beef grinder and from the seaweed grinder. We're extracting from the harvester, the froster, the mop crusher, the soybean presser, the tofu presser, the crafter and the crafter. And all of that goes into the storage drawers or into the animal feeder. Actually, we should not do that here because we do it here. So everything goes into my storage, what can go into my storage. All of those, and there's a few below that I'll show you in a moment. One thing to note, one, I named these soybean presser and tofu presser. That way I can see what they do over there. The same for these two grinders. But these only accept input from the top. You cannot input items from the bottom. That's why these are now advanced connectors instead of the regular connectors. Because the advanced connectors allow a trick, which is here as well, to say insert from the top. And all of these are inserting from the top. It's an option you don't have in the regular. See, this is locked. So you need the advanced connectors, and then you can just say, hey, you're inserting from, no, you're not inserting from below. You may think you're inserting from below, but you're actually inserting from the top, and that works. So actually I only needed 4 channels for the crafting, all of it. This one is just sending water into my fluid tank and into the froster. And the fluid tank is right there in the ground next to the harvester with a watering can. So if I want to go here and hey, water a bit, water a bit. This one holds 12 buckets, but it's a pain to fill. And it runs out quite fast, which is also annoying. But I found that I can fill it very simply by right-clicking it on a full fluid tank. And that's why this one's here, and that's being filled from that last channel with water from the sink. I might move that over there when I build my kitchen, but we'll see. Finally, there's a bug in the drawers. Well, yes, well, there's 2 bugs really. There's a configuration, and apparently in this pack it's on by default, that if you break a drawer, instead of dumping everything onto the floor, you can actually see it's masked, it's taped. The drawers are taped shut. So when you place it, it's maintained its contents. Normally, you have to make the tape yourself. Packing tape seals drawers from moving. That's a config option that does it by default, which means at some point I right-clicked with my backpack, and then my backpack changed, so now it's not accepting it. It's not the same backpack anymore, it's a different backpack. It can't go in here. And I can't get it out. And I locked and unlocked, and I tried this, blah blah. Oh yeah, these by the way are the additional items we're gonna get. Grain bait, veggie bait, seeds and tofu, poisonous potatoes. We might get some of those. We already have 2. Another bug, which is even more, I mean, this is, I can throw away this drawer. That's fine. I can throw it away. More annoyingly, if you were to break this one of these, anyone, all of the contents, that's the salt as well as the void upgrade, will be deleted, and you'll place an empty drawer back. You won't have anything gone of that in your inventory. It'll be gone. So I lost my redstone and my downgrade upgrades or downgrade, yeah. But that's fine, because I picked a different solution after realizing that XNet has the option to check for amount of items. If the amount of items is less than 64, give a redstone signal on the red channel. Yeah, green channel, red channel, all these 16 channels. So and if we go to the harvester, under if there's a signal on red, given redstone output 15. Same for the animal feeder, the froster, and redstone lamp. All of these getting a redstone signal of 15 if there's a red channel signal which is coming from the sensor or the connector underneath the drawer. And the lamp is just there for testing. It's currently at 50. So if I say that if this is less than 50, it goes off. This should be turned off. Yes, it is turned off. The harvester's turned off. The feeder's turned off. The separator I don't worry so much about because there won't be any breeding, so there's no cows to separate, and once the little ones grow up they will be killed and that's it for the mob crusher. But the rest is switched off. I could switch off the crafters, and I might do that, but I need to check how much they tick. These I don't think I can switch off, but that's fine. But the harvester switched off, nothing's gonna come in. The crops will grow, and then... Did you just get harvested? I think you did. Requires redstone. You should not be harvesting. No, see? They're not being harvested. That's in... You are being harvested. That is odd because you should not get a redstone signal harvester only on red. I'll put redstone 15. So it works for this one. No, it doesn't work anymore. Why? It did work. Well, if you have any idea how this should work, then let me know. I will look at YouTube as well, see if I can figure this out. I say if there's less than 50 items, output on red channel. There's currently not less than 50 items. We should not get an output on the red channel. Then we set here, and that changes now from redstone ignored, redstone on to activate. So when there's a signal enabled on red, I'm not sure if I need both of that. I think I should use this, keep it to ignore. Send an output signal to the lamp. It's not currently sending an output to the lamp. If I switch this to 51, lamp goes on. Switch this back to 50. Lamp goes off. So that's working. So yeah, I don't think I need the redstone here. Redstone signal 15 when there's enabled when there's a red signal. Red signal, redstone 15. All of them I had changed, and I've all had them on ignore, enabled to activate. And this one just keeps running. This one should be getting a redstone signal. And it's set, it should not be getting a redstone signal, sorry. And it's set to be active on redstone signal. Same as that one. If that's not getting a redstone signal, this should not be getting a redstone signal. So I need to figure out how this works, but this is the idea. This is monitoring my amounts, and I'll put this back on 64. And when I've reached that, everything should switch off. So, yeah. Don't know. I don't know. I will look at it. I mean, we're not there yet. So we have some wheat over there. We have some wheat over here, which is good. And basically, this room is done. Not sure if I should decorate it anything. I might do some pattern in the floor. But the kitchen itself is going to be one of those rooms. Alright, I think I may have rushed through this a little bit, looking back at the footage. How does this work in general? Well, in general, you create a recipe starts with blank, and you put in all the bits that you need, and it already knows what you're crafting. If it recognizes your recipe, it will show you what it's crafting. Now you have following options. You can choose to keep one item. Say I want to keep at least one salt and one silken tofu in the slots here. I don't need to, and I'll explain in a moment. So I just wanted to use all of them. It's unfortunately not the option to take half or take one at a time. No, it's going to do all or everything except one. Then what happens with the butter? Now the butter can either go back into the internal buffer, which is this blue area, or into the orange buffer, the output buffer. And the output buffer is then picked up by the XNet and into the drawers. In this case, butter goes into the internal buffer and has a slot here. And that's basically the same for most of them, except for the toast. Now, it's best to show here, the option ext means go to the external buffer, and then there's an xc, which means go to external except for crafting. I think that's what the C stands for. So the output will go into the external. Anything that's left from the ingredients, goes back to internal. So for example, in the case of toast, bakeware is not consumed. So the bakeware is returned from the crafting. But because external C, only the toast goes out and the bakeware goes back into the internal storage. And let's see, in this case, we could do the same for this, but this is staying internal anyway. And if we look at here, the bread is a simple crafting, but the hamburger, the skillet comes back inside. And the juicer comes back in. So that's external C versus internal versus external. Then you can have it fast or slow, which doesn't really matter. And then there's called a remember and forget. Now you can see there's a ghost image here of a bread and a hamburger and a cheeseburger. And there's a ghost image of toast here. And if I take out the wheat, you can see that there's a ghost image of wheat. So these slots, I've put everything in there once. I've clicked on remember, and now they're locked. This can only take the juicer. Nothing else will go in there. And if I take iron and put it here, it won't. So only the locked items can go in here, and that's why everything else has flint, especially here, because if I didn't do that, it would fill up all of these with butter. I don't want that. Even if I take out the flint, it's not going to do anything there, but the flint itself will not be used, so that's fine. So you put everything in there once, you click remember, and then it's fine. Now if I click forget, all of these will become blank and it will start making butter like crazy. I don't want it to make butter like crazy, so I'm not going to do that. Because to put them back, I would need a bread and a hamburger and a cheeseburger and a deluxe cheeseburger. You have to have one of them at least while you're setting this up, so you can lock those fields. So that is the RFTools Crafter. They're very simple to make. I actually got these two from a loot chest. But if you look at the tier 1 crafter, which I think has one recipe, it's crafting tables, redstone torch, and the machine frame. The RFTools machine frame, as usual, is just gold nugget, lapis, and iron. And then if you want a second tier crafter, you take the first tier with some redstone torches and crafting tables. And for the third tier crafter, you take the second tier with some redstone torches and crafting tables. So basically, it's one machine frame, 6 crafting tables, and 6 torches for the tier 3, which is really, really, really cheap. But yeah, that's how the RFTools crafter works. Let me think if there's anything special. No, these just don't have anything to do right now because I don't have beef or wheat to grind. So yeah, just gonna let this run for it. Now, there's one thing I want to do in this episode to round off the cooking, and that's build a cooking for blockhead kitchen. And if you don't know it, it's a really great interaction with Pam's Harvest Crafts, and basically it revolves around the Cooking for Blockheads recipe book, where you can find all the recipes based on ingredients you have. For example, if I have some potatoes and tomatoes, here I get some recipes now based on my ingredients, which is really nice. But there's also a whole kitchen set that you can use there. I did get the cooking table from a loot chest, but let's first make a kitchen counter. This uses a lot of terracotta and clay, but sorry, stone, and also some clay bricks. Now let's go through the quest line first. Claim. That's the one. Now it wants us to make another fridge. Well, we already have one, and another kitchen counter. I think I want to have a bunch of kitchen counters anyway, so that is fine. I also want to have more fridges. I think I want to have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 should be enough. So that's iron doors and chests, which is good because I get 3 iron doors. So we make fridges. We claim and we get an oven. Then we get a sink. Hey, we have one over there. I'm actually gonna pick it up. I'm gonna move my connector to over there once I place it. Back, let's see for now. This is interesting. It doesn't get, the connectors don't give you the black outline that you see. Alright, that is the sink. We get a toaster. And really? Is that it? Well, that's not right. Alright, well, we'll make a few things ourselves. One of the things we'll need is a bucket of milk, which I should have, which I don't have. So I can make a milk jar with some glass. Right, the milk jar, as the name suggests, holds milk. However, we're not gonna manually fill it up with milk ourselves. We have a trick for that. And let's see, I'm gonna place the jar on the ground. I'm gonna place a few more, come on, blocks if I can. Alright, oh that's okay. Then I'm gonna find my cow and my anvil. And now we're gonna drop the cow in. Oops. And we're gonna drop the anvil on top. And I'm afraid that has captured, well, I'm afraid it's not really, because I knew it was gonna happen. We've now captured our cow. And this will give us milk when we connect this all to the kitchen. So I'm surprised that this is it. Really. Okay. The nice thing about these blocks is that it's a multi-block structure, and all the blocks, as long as they connect at some point to each other, that's enough. So let's see. This is. Let's find the center here and here. Yeah. That's the center. Then I'm gonna move it slightly off center into this direction. I'm gonna start with the oven, and I'm gonna build up my kitchen around this. Okay, I think this is the last thing I want to make for now. And I'm gonna insert it into this fridge. So this now has a ice making unit, which also changed its interior slightly. Or doesn't it? No, it doesn't. Alright. Now, all of these are connecting together. These ones aren't yet. We'll fix that. And here's my cooking table, which currently only can make salt from fresh water because the sink is connected. And also the sink is hooked up to that automation, so I don't need a second one. This one needs coal, but also this one can hold a bunch of our cooking pots that from pans that I made, which is quite nice. The cutting board, I think I can just place flat on a table, and then I have a few more left that I want to hang up. Now you can either use spice racks or tool racks. I think the tool racks are better for these, and then spice racks we can put on some materials. Now this block connects to this block. So this is all connected. As soon as there's food in here, it should recognize it. Now the only other thing, counter jar, which I can't put it here because of the spice rack. Maybe I'll remove one spice rack. Oh, no, thank you. So now we also have milk. So now we can, once we have a bucket full of milk, these are the corner pieces, and this is just smooth polished andesite, which I think goes really well with the surface here. And I didn't want to have this hanging in the air, but I did want to have a center island for my kitchen. Now the only thing left is to connect all of these. Now if you don't look too close, this looks actually pretty good. If you do look close, then you'll find that there's gaps, because these fridges don't take up a full block, and yeah. Oh look, there's a connect. That's funny. But let's see, there's salt in this one, and there's potato in this one, and the cow is filled up for a liter. Also the snow machine. All of that I should be able to see here, which is correct, because fries is the bakeware, which is in the oven, potato, which is in one fridge, and salt, which is in the other fridge. Also, it can make plain yogurt from the milk that we have in the jar, and it can make ice cream from the milk and a snowball that it can make from the fridge, and the salt. So all of this is connected via cheaty spice racks. Oh yeah, and this is going to help me stay on the right block so I don't take damage. So, and these actually can hang in mid-air, which is quite nice. But yeah, I had to connect it here with the top one with the fridge. This one doesn't actually, so that could be closed off. Right? Yeah, so at least it's one of them is closed off, that's better. But then they come together in the center. This connects, basically it's a multi-block, it's like a wire system. It's a bit like the trim on this drawers there. It's connected, multi-block, block. Hey, block. Basically that's what it does. It's a bit like a chicken, except it does block. And now I'm still in the drawer. One more slab. So, cooking for blockheads. I will move over all my stuff, all my food from the base, and put it in the fridge. Not so much the potatoes and the salt. That doesn't need to be refrigerated. But you can also use the counters. Oh, not the corner counters though, and I didn't mean to eat that. But you can use the kitchen counters, and then you can make all the recipes. And oh yeah, I can still make potato related recipes because I have it in my inventory. The corners don't do anything, the sink just gives water, but I have 3 counters, 4 fridges, should be enough. I might see about making chisel bitting a hood above the oven, and also the oven needs charcoal. That's fine, I can put some stuff on the spice rack as well. So that is the cooking section done. I'm gonna clean up this here and place you. Oh, no, that's wrong. That is wrong. Sorry. I need to fix that. I'm a cable short. I need to fix it because that should be blue cable. Alright, I need to fix that, and then I am done. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. It's a bit long, but maybe not too bad. But I think it was a good progress at least, and I'm glad to have the food now. Let's see, I'm almost 100% for everything, and let's see, I'm gonna eat some of these, one of these. Oh, except for fruit. I need to eat 1 strawberry at some point, and then it's up to the delighted meals. So now, if you have any idea about this redstone signal here, let me know. I will, in between episodes, look at some spotlights for it as well. But if you already know, then that would make it life easier for me. I haven't thought about the doors yet, especially the double ones over there. I think are going to be tricky, and I haven't thought about this area yet either. So we'll see. If you have any suggestions, let me know. For the next episode, actually I might use this as well as my main base. I was thinking I need a main base. I need a base where I can sleep, where I can have my main storage area, which is, it's not really central though. I would like to have that more central, but yeah, I can teleport anyway, right? So that is fine. I think this would be a nice room for drawers and maybe at some point AE system. Nah, I might do it here. And yeah, so either I'll build something here or I go looking for another area. I could have a look at all of these quests, but most of them are going to be so much easier now that we have this. I can just click edit, click get, click get, click get, and we're done with the chapter. Basically that's it, as long as I have the foods. Tinkers, I could, well, yeah, I think if I get storage, I should look at ore processing, and from the void ore miner, and that's where I want to go into mechanism, I think, because then I have ore quintuplication. Basically, one ore gives me 5 ingots. So, and I might still have enough room here to set that all up. I'll have a look. I'll think about that. It may be slightly longer until the next episode because of the big plans. And if you have any suggestions, then please let me know. Also, check out the description of the video for links to FTOG Discord, so you can join us there and play on the server if you feel like it. And otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and please come back again next time. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.